Good evening. I grew up in the cornfields of northern Indiana, and when I looked forward to more than anything was traveling to my mom's parents' house in Florida for holidays. Now, my sister and I, as soon as we would get there, would run around that house. And we were looking for not the orange trees in the backyard, not the brackish tributary that came in from the ocean or the alligator, or maybe there was a manatee, not the crunchy grass or the sandy ground. Nope. We were looking for a chameleon. Those little lizards were all over the backyard, and they have this fantastic ability to change their skin color. They have the ability to adapt, to blend, to change whether it has to do with their background or the temperature. And those little lizards, when we would look for them, my little sister and I, because they're fast, we would try to catch them. We would make it a competition to see who could find the most. Sometimes we'd find them grayish-brown on the dock. Sometimes we would find them almost white on that concrete seawall. Sometimes we would find them brown on a tree trunk or really trying to blend into the grass, bright green. As I got older and I thought about that really unique quality to blend in with the background, I tried to adapt it to my life. Except that as a second-year attorney, somebody challenged us to come up with an elevator speech. Now, at the time, and you may know what that is already, I did not. I didn't know what an elevator speech was. It's about a 30 to 90 second, here's who I am, here's what I do, here's why we should talk. And that elevator speech was to be given to people so that you could introduce yourself, create a relationship. Now, fortunately for me, I ride in an elevator almost every day with strangers, so I'm super excited about this opportunity, and I'm going to do it. I worked for weeks and weeks to be able to create this 30, more like 90-second speech about, here's who I am. And I practiced it, but it didn't really work on my mom's friends, and it didn't really fly with people who'd known me since I was growing up. It didn't really work with my college friends, and so it has to work in the elevator. So I get on the elevator, and this poor, unsuspecting soul is standing in the corner, and I say, hi, I'm Julie Pugh. Here's who I am. And I kind of got a cold shoulder. Awkward. He didn't talk to me. I was like, oh, it's just him. It's not me. Okay, I'll do it again. And they'd go to the phone. One guy even put an earbud in. So this didn't work. It didn't work. It was not blending. And instead of talking about me, I started asking questions. Now I can walk into an elevator and say, aren't you so excited that it's warm again outside? Or don't you wish we had some music today? And instead of turning a cold shoulder or looking the other way, sometimes they get a smile. Sometimes they even talk back. And I can find that commonality. I can find a way to form a bond, a true, genuine bond about something that we have in common. This works in other places, too. When you go to a networking event and there's a room full of strange faces, you're looking for a way to find a connection, to form a relationship. So you can go up and say, oh, how do you know the host? Or why are you here supporting this charity or attending this event? And oftentimes you're going to get somebody to respond. They're going to say, oh, I know so-and-so. Oh, me too. That doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that comes out of that person's mouth. For example, if I'm asking about the food and I look at the pizza and I say, which one do you think I should try? And somebody says, try the one with olives. I would say, ooh, gross, disgusting. I hate olives. How could you possibly eat them? Okay, that's not forming a bond. That's not blending. I might say, oh, you know what, I'm not an olive person, I'll just have cheese. Thank you. But it doesn't mean that you have to be what somebody else wants you to be either. Now, I told you I grew up on a farm. My dad is a farmer. He became a stockbroker, financial advisor. And during his business dealings over the course of his life, he learned to hate lawyers. He thinks that lawyers don't really have a place in the business world. When I graduated from Xavier University, I started in human resources, and my wonderful husband and I got married. We bought a house, we got a car, and I decided I was going to go to law school. My dad would say, Julie, are you really sure you want to do that? But I was sure. I was going to do it. I was going to get it done. And for one reason or another, when I was touring for some campuses to try and go to school, my husband wasn't available to go with me. And I was lamenting this fact on one of my weekly or bi-weekly calls with my folks. And my dad said, when is it? I said, oh, it's coming up. He said, I'll go with you. He didn't have to tell me that he supported me. He didn't have to tell me he was okay with it. He didn't have to say anything. But he went. The point is to be you. It's to blend. It's to find that bond and still be able to be who you are. To have your true colors. But you don't want to disappear. You don't want to turn into a wallflower. On my first jury trial, I was trained by this really fantastic litigator, and I thought I was ready. I'm going to go, and I'm going to sit at counsel table, and then I'm going to have all these eyeballs on me. Jury, judge, opposing counsel, witnesses. I wanted to disappear. If I could have crawled under that table and melted into a puddle, I would have. That's not in anybody's best interest, especially not mine. I learned to stand up. I found my voice, and I learned to continue, even when I stumbled, even when I melted, even when I wanted to be a flower instead of a chameleon. Now, I told you that chameleons have this fantastic ability to change colors. They also have this really cool ability to lose part of themselves, especially when my sister would catch it. So it didn't happen very often, but on occasion you'd get a hold of one and the tail would pop off and it'd turn dark brown on you and the lizard would scatter away. You can lose part of yourself. You can change. I wear many hats. Litigator's one of them. I'm also a mom. I'm a daughter, teacher, mentor. I'm an athlete. I'm a chef. I'm a chauffeur. I've cut my hair off. I've been a lot bigger when I was pregnant, been a lot smaller. You can change yourself and still be you. You can lose part of yourself and still be you. I wear many, many hats. Some of them are prettier than others. If you really want to see my true colors, start messing with my family. Start messing with my friends. Start messing with my clients. That mama bear hat, not so pretty. There are times when you don't want to blend. You need to stand out. Show your true colors. Be bright. Be visible. Be bold. When you're dating, when you're interviewing, when you're looking to be who you are, to be standing out. Be bright. Have the courage. But you can't do that unless you truly spend some time knowing who you are. And that identity can change. It can change over time. It can be different. Just like the chameleon can be a different color. Gray, brown, white, green. That chameleon changes color. He still knows who he is. Now, when I was chasing those lizards in the back of my grandparents' house, when I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, I had no idea that I was going to have the privilege of attending Xavier University about 10 years later. And when I was a student here, I had no idea that I was going to be a lawyer. And when I became a lawyer, I had no idea that about 10 years later, I'd be standing here in front of you this evening. I don't know what this looks like 10, 20, 30 years from now. I don't know if I'll still be standing in 30 years. But I do know that every day I try to be my own true blue. I try to be true to who I am and form those connections, find that bond between those with whom I am dealing by asking questions, learning about my surroundings, figuring out who I am with, and building that bridge, building that relationship with each person that I come across. And I can only do that by being true to myself, being honest with that person that I'm with. Spend some time figuring out who you are, what makes you tick, how you're going to be you with someone else. Because for the last 30 years, I've been calling that chameleon by the wrong name. He's actually a green anole, but he still knows who he is. Thank you. Have a great evening.